Name drop.
Just in case you're at home, you're listening, or you're watching this, I just want to let you know that there are going to be subtitles because we can't really understand anything.
Yes, and you will also hear bells.
Yes.
Every time you guys mention somebody, it could be anybody. You will hear a bell, not like you'll hear a ding.
Right. I was expecting a ding then.
We will. Yeah. Well, just
in
imagine.
post.
Just pretend. Everybody just pretend like when we go like this.
But but feel free to drop a name. Like if you hey, I
even each other's.
Okay.
We'll
I just had a burrito with Elvis Costello.
We dinged the burrito, by the way.
The burrito would be dang. So we were talking. You guys got together in 1996.
We did.
Yeah.
How did you meet? It was in Liverpool.
Yeah.
We met. We were all in different bands at the time, and we did a lot of shows, a lot of gigs up and down the country, and we got on really well. And we had this vision, as individuals in each of our bands, where we wanted to take it. And the guys that we were with in our own bands, they just liked the whole gigging experience. They didn't really have that kind of goal in mind as such, and we did. And to cut a long story short, we got together, started writing songs, and the rest is history.
Was it difficult to leave those other bands?
No.
Do you know what? They were really supportive. There was a couple of singers in my band, and they just jumped on board and carried on. They just carried on as normal.
Was Pete Best in one of those bands?
No, Stevie Wonder was.
Stevie Wonder.
He sang background vocals for you, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. He was
How hard do you guys fight over, like, your image, over who has to be
the hot one,
Baby Mac,
one.
Sporty Mac?
Dirty Spice.
Who's Sporty Mac? Who's Baby Mac? Who's Posh Mac?
Do you know what? I've not actually thought of that. I've not thought of that actual nickname for us. I've not thought of it. Have you, Steve?
Can I name you guys?
Big Mac.
You can pick.
Big Mac.
Okay, we've got Loud and Obnoxious Mac. We've got Egotistic Mac. And we've got Steroids Mac. What do you think?
I gotta be honest with you. You did get bigger.
I'll take that as a compliment. But do you know what? I've been training for many years.
Yeah.
And my job back home is I'm a personal trainer. So I've learned a lot about health and fitness and being consistent with training.
So do the opposite of Chris, and you'll get like that.
Well,
I'm the before picture.
I'm training you later.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm training you.
How hard are those buttons holding on, do you think?
Very, very hard. The steel
They made
buttons.
it the titanium
ones.
The
titanium these ones.
We had to get special buttons in.
But I'm not.
Was there any? Go ahead.
No, I was saying Mark was working out with Trevor the other day. We had Trevor from Old Town in the gym with us. I was on the pads. He had Trevor.
How did he do?
Put him through his paces.
You know what? He did really well. I was explaining to him how to actually go through repetition and stuff like slowing things down. And he was tired and aching the next day.
It's going to be hard being on the road, though.
I've not invoiced him yet for that.
Do you charge in pounds or?
It's pounds because you get more for the pound.
Right, for sure.
But being on the road, and you guys are on tour.
Yeah. It's tough on the road. I mean, it's tough just to find a slot or a routine slot where you can go and work out or do whatever. You have all these ideas of going on tour and going to all these cities and doing all these great things, and then in reality, you're just trying to catch a nap wherever possible in between the madness, you know what I mean?
Because I said to my girlfriend, I said, I'm going to keep up training, I'm going to get up. I said, what if you can't get in the gym? I said, I'll do some circuit stuff in my room. Have I done that? In my room, not once.
You've done pizza in the room?
I've done pizza in the room and chips.
A few beers.
But do you know what it is, though? I've just kind of drew a line under it and thinking, well, I've come on tour to sing, I've not come to work out, and I'll get back on board when I get back home. So
was it motivating enough? I mean, Chris and I have talked about this too. It's like if you're going back on touring, in front of a lot of people, you want to get in good shape.
Well, of course you do. Not only that, you feel better. You got energy. You're more confident on stage, I guess, and you feel good about everything. So everything's a positive.
Well, I think another part of being on tour though is the fact that you get to go to all these cities, and how often you guys come over to the States.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you go to these cities, if you go to Pittsburgh, you're going to want to get a Pamani Brothers sandwich.
Yeah.
If you go to Philly, you're going to get a cheesesteak because you're there.
Exactly.
So the eating doesn't help because you want to. If I go over get fish and chips or you want to do what people do in that area. So you're eating.
The thing, there's a lot of good food in America.
Yeah. The local delicacies.
It's our weakness.
I think it's the age too.
We can't
eat like we did.
No,
we can't.
No.
I still do.
Have you eaten today?
My hands.
Yeah, on the plane.
What did you eat?
I literally just flew here. You hate the word literally, but I flew here and I got in the car and just dropped off and I high-fived you guys.
Yeah.
and we just sat down.
Wow.
He's a
And
pro.
ate like the, you know what it is when you're on tour.
Peanuts.
that's it.
You know,
Yeah,
they-
yeah.
I don't even have
Grab
time to
what you
stretch.
can.
I'm not a
That's it.
stretcher, but I was going to stretch today, and I didn't stretch, so I want to apologize to you guys.
What's your favorite tour food? Like, what do you guys? What's your go-to?
I mean, we've had some good pizza, haven't we?
Pizza.
We've had some
Pizza.
good
Pizza.
We've got more pizza
Yeah.
than anything, really.
Yeah, we love pizza.
Is it a late night thing?
We're having a taco bar later.
Yeah, tacos today.
Tacos later.
That's tacos.
It's a very
It's not even Tuesday.
Taco Thursday.
How do you say
Is it
it? Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
taco.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Taco.
Taco. T.
Taco.
Tacos.
There's a K in there somewhere.
He said tacos. Hey y'all, let's have some Taco Bell.
Oh, they do great American accents too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me hear you guys from the South.
From the South.
Just-
Howdy, y'all. Nice to see y'all.
We take them to Nashville.
Sorry, guys.
Just so you know, Mark's accent was the worst because
Well, of course
they
it
had
was.
accents. No, but you started and then it was just a laugh. It was like you were like,
I suppose that,
It's got a good laugh though. It's a good.
yeah, it's
great
great.
American.
All right,
Thanks,
so
mate.
what's yours? Give me yours.
My American
No,
accent,
your Southern accent.
my Southern.
Yeah.
Well, I can do Southern. I'm from I grew up in the South. I know the South.
See, mine's always like gay or Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
up,
go
son?
on.
Listen,
Yeah.
It's like, hey y'all,
all
what's
right.
happening? I'm hanging out with BBMak and my best friend Chris Kirkpatrick. And S at the end of it. Or then you got Matthew McConaughey. It's the only thing I know. It's like I'm hanging out with guys from BBMak.
Nice.
And, which one do you use? B and Mac. Just
The
BBs and Mac.
Mac.
All right, cool.
All
Get
right.
it? Get it? Got
That's
it?
good.
Good.
That's
That's all I have.
That's
That's
very good.
impressive.
But the English accent, we don't get us.
No.
You got to try it.
Come on,
We tried. You did English.
Because I do I'm an apist. I just mimic voices that I heard growing up, like Dudley Moore. I didn't hear
let's-
Oh
his-
yeah, his
let's
English
hear it, let's hear
accent
it.
is Dudley
Dudley
Moore.
Moore.
So it's only Dudley Moore. It's like, and I love you, Susan.
Oh.
Oh my God, you're a hooker. But that's all. I don't have. I mean, it's not. Yeah. What about?
good.
No, mine's all would be from like Lock, Stock, and Snatch.
Cockney.
Like
more
it's,
yeah,
but
southern,
the Cockney, and
Cockney,
getting to
innit?
meet
Cockney.
a lot of those actors
Oh,
and
yeah.
English and hanging out with you guys as much as I get to hang out with. I've learned it's really you can butcher it very quickly. I tried.
right.
I tried my Liverpool, but when you do it, you just do it with the weird
It's pretty good.
No, it is not. Trust me. Steve's from Liverpool.
Ringo impression I've ever heard.
Best
Yeah.
Australian
Liverpool.
accents I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's, Good day. So, funny story, true story. When my wife does accents, she says, I say, hey, can you do an Australian accent? And she goes, good day, mate. Put another shrimp on the bobby.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I guess. And I'm like, now do Canadian. And she goes, good day, mate. Put another shrimp on the bobby. Hey.
Hey.
You guys can do Aussie, right?
You fly him in Yahoo, that's another 5 cents down the Googler.
That's good.
That's
Pretty good.
Again, mine's would just like it would be
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Hey, get on you then. Cheers. Yeah.
That's not a knife.
Good night.
This
Yeah,
is
it's
a knife.
That's a good film. That's all that. So in high school, did you guys know each other in high school, or you guys
No.
met? You met years later.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
30 years older than these two.
Oh,
35.
is there a big age difference?
A couple of years.
Yeah, Christine's 4 years older than me. I'm 1 year older than Mark.
So you're the baby.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
June, July.
Yeah, I'm
July,
a
August,
few months older than you.
3 months. 3 months.
Did you guys do a lot of bossing? Did you do a lot of bossing around? You boss these boys around because you're older.
We boss each other around, don't we?
Nah,
We boss
do you know
each
what?
other.
There's
We
no-
take
this-
turns in it.
Yeah, we do. What day is it today? Oh, it's your turn today.
It's my turn. I'm
Yeah,
boss.
it's
Yeah,
yours.
bossy day for me.
Was there any, especially like in that time, that boy band era, and I would never consider you guys a boy. I would consider you guys a band.
I would.
but never a boy band because you guys played instruments. I remember Carson Daly saying that.
Yeah.
And he was like these guys are pretty good, and they don't dance. I was like, oh yeah, it's BBMak.
Yeah.
and didn't do any of that dancing.
What's
There
wrong
was
with
nothing
that?
wrong with dancing.
We weren't hiding behind our
No,
instruments.
you weren't.
Yeah, we just can't dance. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. You don't want to see us dancing.
Yeah, you don't see that.
But
want to see it.
So, you guys were out on tour with us.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And again, we're talking, different lifestyle, different everything. Now we're back out on tour again. What's changed? Like we've talked a little bit about the eating and where you go, but in this age where we're FaceTiming wives, girlfriends, things like that, what else has changed for you guys over the years?
I think for me, you kind of take it in more now, because back then it was very fast-paced, moving. You didn't really have time to kind of venture out and look and enjoy the surroundings of where you are, because it was going from one place to the next to the next. But now, I feel that we just feel really obliged and really lucky to be in this position again to be doing it. So I think for me, it's just taking it in more and appreciating it more.
Yeah.
You know, that's some of the best advice I've ever received is like just take a step back and live in the moment.
Yeah.
We didn't do that when we were kids.
Yeah,
Like, oh, this is supposed to happen.
It feels like it's going to last forever then, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I know.
Yeah.
But also, you're in this whirlwind of, you know, you want to be you want to be in music, you want to do music. Suddenly, boom, you're thrust in the spotlight. You're meeting idols of yours. You're playing places you never thought you could play. Doing photo shoots all the time. I mean, you know, we're not, well, you guys probably still are, gracing the cover of magazines and things like that, where it was like one interview after another and radio. And especially, we talk about the times. We know the times have changed. Like, you guys have a new record out now.
Yeah.
What's the difference in that aspect of it compared to where it was when you had to do radio shows, you had to go do these tours and make the radio stations happy so they'd play your music? Now you can just iTunes or Spotify.
Yeah, I think, I mean, we've definitely, you know, we've got the control now of every aspect of what we do, including even touring. You know, we make all the decisions and we make sure that we're happy with everything. So there's a lot more control, but with that, there's a lot more to do now. You know, it's like you have to be a musician, a performer, producer, video director, a video editor, you know, social media mogul, you know, all these different hats you have to wear now.
Christian, did you find it hard to like speak up when you were younger? When you had all these people controlling what you guys were doing, where you were going?
We were kind of we were young and we were a little bit naive, I'd say. And we worked a lot. We were so busy touring and just performing and getting on a plane that we didn't have time to do any other stuff. So it was nice to have a team of people, you know, around you that kind of took care of all that stuff. But we appreciate, you know, how much work actually used to go into all that stuff.
Steve, do you think that really like helped you guys develop these new ideas of being the director, being the producer, because you were around it and you were around some great people back then?
Yeah, absolutely. We soaked a lot of it up, you know, working with some great directors, working with great producers, working with great songwriters. We were always learning. You know, there was always something new we learned every single day when we were in the studio or on tour. So it was a massive learning curve for us. And as we've gotten older, we've used them tools to, you know, further our career.
Of all those things, what's the hardest?
Good question.
About being on the road.
I mean, the whole thing,
about doing all the production, everything yourself. Obviously, making the music you did before.
I think now, I mean, it's more of a time thing now. I mean, we've all got our own individual jobs back home, and I've got kids, Steve's got kids, and we've got our own responsibilities. So it's fitting the time in which we do get a chance to do it, but time is quite difficult sometimes.
You guys blew up here in the US before you even made it even a sound. In the UK.
Yes.
So what was that like coming here and all of a sudden you guys are like, you know, this it band, and then you go over to back home and you're like, Mom, come on.
It was funny, wasn't it?
It was funny because at first, you know, we released back here, didn't we, in the UK? I think it just scraped the top 40. And then we were a bit disheartened and stuff. And then we went over to Asia, didn't we? We went to Japan, and then the song caught fire. I went to #1 in, you know, loads of countries over in Asia. And then
it was back here.
Back here. And then somebody picked it up. Jason Jordan, actually, wasn't it? Picked it up from Hollywood Records. And he heard it and he thought, this is something special. And we ended up going to America, signing with Hollywood Records, and they really believed in the track. So we did a Disney special, which really helped, you know, get the name out there. And it just, it was actually a radio station in Raleigh.
Yeah, wasn't it? DJ, he was in the UK, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a big station in Raleigh, and he loved the song that much that when he first played it on his show, he played it, I think, 3 times in a row on this big radio station, which never happens. And it caught fire in that area, and then it just went crazy, And for us, it was like, you know, we got off the plane, we went to do, I remember we did a big mall performance.
With the police escort.
And we got
there.
No
No idea.
We couldn't park, and we were like, "This is so busy. What's up?" And we got in there, and the police were there. And we were like, "Mark, what have you done?" And it was our escort, and we walked through, and it was crazy. And we were like, "Wow, this is working now. Something's happened. Something changed."
That was the moment for us.
Especially like it was like 4 years in the making, and then you guys are finally you got that track out, and Chris and I would sit around his pool and talk about like. like the good old days. And one of the things that
We're old. You remember the
Back in the day.
we both worked at the Outback Steakhouse. We're both not the same
we
place.
loved the Outback
but
Steakhouse.
we were at the Outback Steakhouse, and he would tell me, like, he would go to rehearsals. He'd work like a full shift and then have to stop and go to rehearsals. But you guys, is there any truth to this where you stood outside of record labels?
Yeah, we
and
did.
sang songs
That's how we got the
did it,
deal. Yeah, we because we had no manager, we had no money, we had no manager, we had no one funding us or anything. So we just went down to London and we stayed at my friend's house. We all kipped on sofas and stuff and on the floor
on airbeds.
And we went around busking around the record companies and we went. Knocked on the door first. Would say like, we went to Sony actually in London. And we said, we've got a meeting with Tommy Mottola.
Like,
And
no, you
we
haven't.
seen his name. He was the president of Sony at the time. We didn't obviously have a meeting. We were just trying to blag our way in, and we couldn't get arrested. And in fact, we got moved by the police once. We went to,
What was the hiccup? You guys are very talented, and you guys are obviously good-looking guys, especially back then.
I just think people thought.
I think
people
two
were
of them
shocked.
are real good looking.
Which one do you think is the ugly?
Two of them are very good.
Two of them? Like, you don't want to... You can tell me.
No,
I'm
not
because
gonna, no.
I remember because it was like the girls I remember in the wardrobe room at MTV before y'all would come on to TRL. We'd get excited because BBMak was coming in, but they were always talking about the blonde.
Frosted tips.
Wait. First of all, your reaction to that was priceless. They always talk about the blonde.
But it's like me. It's me.
Me? That was like the long hair. What about the locks? Christian, what
It
happened?
was like Christian, Mark, and Steve, but it was
it
like
just
Christian.
went.
It's because they had the two
blonde
browns.
fell out. Yeah,
It was funny when you got your hair done, wasn't it? Because it was just before we were going on Leno for the first time, and he disappeared, and we were like, "Where's Christian?" He turns up with these blonde highlights, and we were like, "What have you done?"
Pretty blonde, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was even shocked myself.
Yeah.
I wish we could get some footage of that and watch you two singing and keep looking. Is this
Ready
guy?
shots.
Who is this?
Yeah.
So your first time walking onto the set of TRL, you obviously was with Carson, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And would you say that's like that was the moment for you guys?
It was within that couple of weeks. I remember that was the same time we did the mall thing, and we were just blown away. We were like
All the fans
People
outside.
it was
outside,
outside
the signs and stuff.
and it was incredible, to go on TRL and see that kind of reaction. And it just from then on, I mean, the TRL thing was massive.
We called it the
huge.
American
Yeah, it was
Bandstand
cool.
for that generation.
Yeah.
What was awesome about it is like you had just a bevy of artists from different genres coming onto this set, and kids from like the Midwest could see this boy band.
They're not a boy band.
I was talking about Nsync and Backstreet Boys. We're talking about you guys from Liverpool, and they're like, who are these guys? And all of a sudden they see you, and they could somehow relate with
Doesn't
you
that
guys.
sound familiar?
Yeah, it's called TRL.
No, who are these guys from Liverpool coming
The
over
Beatles.
here?
Oh, I had to ask that.
No. By the way, I guarantee I can answer for them. You don't make the mistake of comparing or talking about the Beatles.
No,
It
I was going to ask
happened-
if they knew him, if they ever met like a Beatle. Please tell me you have. You're from Liverpool.
John Lennon's his uncle.
Well, it's,
Wait, who's your uncle? This is great.
John Lennon.
John Lennon's your uncle?
he used to be.
Wait, all right,
He got better.
He got better. No, he's fibbing. He's fibbing.
He's okay. What about Ringo? Anybody?
No.
Because your dad was.
Wait a minute.
Wait, hold on.
Well, I only found out this.
Okay.
We were on tour. We'd been in the US for a year, and my aunt, who lived in Kentucky, she married an American GI during the war. Came over here
G.I.
to
Joe?
live. Yeah, came over here to live, and then she came to the House of Blues. This was before she died. She was really old, and she came to the House of Blues to see us in New Orleans. And she stood out. She was like a little old lady among this sea of young girls. And then after the show, she came backstage and she said, "You do know that you're related to Ringo?" And I was like, "What? Why has no one ever told me this?" And he said, "Well, it's not Ringo. Ringo's wife is my dad's cousin."
So
There you go.
Six digits of
So we're
Kevin
practically
Bacon.
the Beatles.
then talking about the Beatles, or because I've heard your new record, which brings a lot of that influence. I can tell. What who made the BBMak sound, and how did you guys come about with this? Harmonies, guitars. Like, what music were you guys listening to that possibly made the BBMak sound?
It's a wide range,
Yeah,
isn't
there was
it?
a lot of stuff like, I mean, the Boys to Men, we were
Boys to
listening
Men,
to a lot of harmonies and that.
Harmonies,
Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
I love
The
Stevie,
Beatles,
Stevie
yeah.
Wonder.
Beatles, ELO.
It's a wide range, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a lot of that stuff when we got together, and we just loved singing together in harmony.
Such a different sound from. I mean, we obviously
it was
you guys
different
grew
at the
from,
time, you know.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like it really stuck out. But we just that's how we'd write, because we could play the guitar. We had a guitar. Me and Steve played guitar, and we'd just start jamming, and that's when we just started writing these songs and with 3-part harmonies.
And that's another reason why we thought, get together and give it a crack, because when we actually tried singing, the blend was there instantly. We thought it really worked. We've all got different ranges within our voices, and it was just a really smooth blend that gelled really well. Yeah. So we thought, you know what, I think we've got something pretty special.
Cool. That's funny, because I was just about to say, when you guys sing together, you fall into a place. And that's hard. Like, you look at modern day musicians, even boy bands, any of those, the Take That's, older, the One Directions, even, going with the guys next door in O-Town, they were all singers, right? Yeah. They tried out for a band, and they made a band. You guys are all singers, but you were also more like us in that you had parts. Yeah. You had a place, and in every song. How did you guys, come to figure out, you know what, you sound great on this one, let you do that? Is it who writes it?
I think we all know who sings well with a certain style of song or a particular range in a verse or a middle eight section, a bridge section. So it's kind of an easy kind of decision to make, really.
Yeah, just whatever serves the song best.
It's not a case of, you sing all that song, well, I want to sing a part. If the song sounds great. There was
no ego involved with...
You sing the whole song.
With the,
that's the hardest. When you split up in 2003, you guys went in different directions. You're playing dance music.
Yeah.
And you worked with Tiesto on two tracks.
Yeah, a few tracks with Tiesto, I've done
blowing up. And then you had then you had your own, was it 2019 that you went...
Yeah, I had an album. I've had a couple of albums out, but I've done a lot of electronic stuff over the years.
Huge here.
Yeah, it's good. I did Tiesto and Armin van Buuren and Benny Benassi and a few others, and I've been busy. Did a lot of stuff over in like, I was going to Russia a lot, oddly, which I'm not anymore.
Not with that weed pen.
It kept me off the streets. Well, I still do that. I still do a lot of electronic stuff.
How much did you guys miss each other?
We always stayed in touch.
Stayed in touch. Yeah.
That's it. Like when I got married, these guys came to my wedding. They came to my kids' christenings. So we never fell out. There was no I hate your guts.
Can you tell us what time when you did fall out?
We didn't. We've never fallen out.
We've never fallen out. It's crazy. We've never fell out.
Really? You've never had one fight?
No. We've never fell out.
No. There wasn't one person that was really annoying?
I mean, we've had little discussions about things, I suppose, but we've never ever,
I can honestly say we've never
argument at all. We get on great.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so great, us touring together. I think when we got together, 2016, and we were just having a jam, and we all realised how much we missed each other and missed singing together and missed touring together, and that's what makes it work, because it's hard touring. I mean, Chris, it's really hard touring the world, and to do it with people, your mates, who you really get on with, it makes life a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable as well.
I think that's my point, is that you guys were always friends. Yeah. But at what point did you go, you know what? The world needs BBMak again. The world needs us as a group.
It was about 6 years ago, probably.
We came round
to your sisters, and we got together, and it was like, we'd never been apart. Got the acoustic guitar out, and we tried Back Here, which was filmed by your dad.
Yeah. That's it. I'll film it.
And we hadn't sang this song for
15 years.
Yeah. And do you know what the strange thing was? We just naturally went into our harmony. We didn't even try and do a take on it and then say, let's record it. It was the first take, and it was bang on all the way through. So anyway, we thought we'll just try and give it a post it and see how people react.
Goosebumps.
Oh, that's wow.
Because
nice.
When you guys, how often does that happen? Like even now on tour,
holy shit.
Coming back, I know that on this tour, you guys, there was a problem with the visas. Christian had to go out, do the songs himself.
Yeah. And he did a good job.
By the way, before the show, shaking like this, and all I could tell him was it was a hostile crowd. Yeah, they were they were absolutely ruthless.
Where was that?
Thanks for that, Chris.
But how many of those
Wait,
how many things?
It was in
Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine.
How many of those things now that you guys are back in the swing of it a little bit, do you guys find yourself, oh, the guys are here again, I'm back in mode, I turned back into this guy in BBMak?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird doing a gig on my own without these. We've never done that. I've never done it, but I was like, the show must go on, so I did it, and it was just weird, singing all the parts.
You know me turn.
I know, and it's just
He still turned. Yeah, he still turned. By the way, there was just no one there.
No one there.
So, but that was weird. But yeah, we fell back into it, straight away. As soon as we get out on tour, we just, we're always singing, even in the car, we're always breaking into songs. So
Shower.
Yeah, it just
shower, nice hallways.
Nice acoustics. Yeah.
I know that you guys you toured a lot of people, and obviously you toured with Nsync and Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
So if you had to choose between to go back on the road again, who would you go out with? Britney
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child.
Ed Sheeran.
Do you know when we toured with Nsync, it was just an amazing opportunity for us guys because, stadium tour.
It was amazing.
Massive crowds, and obviously Nsync, biggest band in the world at the time, and was like, wow, what an opportunity for us guys to be doing this.
Was it hard to open up for a band like Nsync?
It was
good.
It was amazing, honestly.
It was amazing. You're looking out in front of a sea of people. It's different when you do the smaller venues because you can kind of connect with the fans, but when you're kind of performing in front of 90,000 people or whatever it is, you can't. It's just a sea of people. You're not connecting with anybody, so it's a bit of a different kind of experience, but a very enjoyable one.
Yeah.
So how do you make that connection then? Because when you sing and you perform, that when you're up there, you're still connecting, whether it's so many people. How do you guys find that balance of, I can't see the end of the crowd, but I can still connect with the audience?
I think, you just get into the song, think about what you're singing. It's because, we sing these songs a lot. You've still got to give it that passion and really think about what you're singing. So that's what we do. We just turn it on when we get on stage. It's like, right, okay,
and when you get a great reaction from the crowd, it's kind of reflects. It feeds you that kind of enjoyment on stage, and you get into it. Adrenaline. It's a mixed bag of things. Really.
Do you have a moment where you guys were coming off stage? You're in like probably one of these major cities, whether it be here or the UK, and you see a celebrity that recognizes you?
Well, for me, I remember playing.
The show's called Name Drop, fellas.
Oh, right. Okay.
I've got one. And
Mickey Mouse.
We were opening up for you guys in Boston.
Wait, who are you guys?
Nsync.
Oh, Nsync.
Bing.
Okay,
there we go.
So,
Wait,
drop that name, Steve.
Who was with Nsync at that time?
It was Chris. It was
and
Lance.
Lance.
Was Lance?
Are you really going to make them? Because if they forget, somebody's going to feel bad.
I think Justin Timberlake.
Household name.
AJ, Nick.
Edward was my favourite.
So at the show, Nuno Betancourt was there from Extreme, and we've always done a cover of More Than Words in our set.
Great cover.
And he came with his niece and nephew to the show, and he was just backstage, and I saw him and I was like, oh my God, that guy. I had this poster on my wall when I was a kid. He was my guitar hero. So, and he came over and he said, the nicest thing, he said, your version of More Than Words is my favourite cover. Of all the covers I've heard, yours is the best I've heard. And there was a lot of bands covering it at the time. That's what you want to hear. So I just said, will you come on stage and sing it with us? And he just went, it's been a while since I've been in front of this many people, but yeah. And we were like, get him a guitar. So for me, that was amazing. Playing guitar with my hero on stage.
I remember that show, too.
Boston.
I remember that show and how amazing that moment was because we were back there and I was like, Nuno's here. I think Nuno is playing More Than Words with him. And we all came out just to watch that moment. Now, are there any other big moments? Do you guys have more people like that you
It was great because when we shared the same stage as Destiny's Child. Ding.
That's when you guys were dancing, right, with Beyonce?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Remember
a bit of a boogie.
That was fun.
But it was great because I put Beyonce on the phone to my brother, and he'd been out with his friends. He got in at silly o'clock, had a few drinks, and I rang him and went, Daniel is called. I went, Daniel, someone wants to say hello. He goes, hey, Daniel, this is Beyonce. He goes, no, it's not. Daniel, it's Beyonce. No, don't believe you. This is Beyonce. He went, shut up. It's Beyonce. To his mates. So we were like having a conversation with that first info. It was brilliant. Loved it.
Before camera phones.
Asked her for
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Now, how much is that changed coming back out now, having kids in the audience. Does that bother you guys? I know there was a big thing with Miranda Lambert. People were taking a photo during her set, and she stopped and said, called them out. How has that changed when we were talking about the connection with the audience? Now you're losing some of that connection when you look out and see the phones up.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're not against it or anything. But I think some people just watch the whole show through a little screen. I'm like, you're here. Put your phone down for a bit. Enjoy the show, soak it all up, soak the energy up.
That's a generation gap, though.
I mean, because
when we were younger, we didn't have
the phones. If we did then, it would have been the same back then. But I think technology these days, it's all about the phone, isn't it? So, but that doesn't, it's not a bad thing for us because they share it, they post it, and they're showing people in the world a performance, and they share that, and it's just more exposure for us guys.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
But you don't, my wife video and tapes my son all the time and does that. I feel like we're losing those moments.
I know what you're saying.
You know, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to do, but I'm saying when somebody comes out, sure, I might take a picture of them when they first walk out, then put your phone away hey, I was here. Because nobody wants to watch that. It's like filming when you're flying in an airplane at the clouds. It looks cool while you're there, so you film it. But when you watch it back, you're like, why did I just film this?
But it's memories, isn't it? You know, especially talking about your son being videoed, and I've got pictures of my kids, and that's on my phone, and from 5 years ago, and I'm looking at it thinking, it's a lovely memory.
I don't mind it,
though.
and
it's great. That aspect of it is great.
I'm obviously not singing or performing or anything like that, but I don't mind it. I like going to a show and I like to be able to take a picture or a little bit of video. But the one thing I don't like is the flash. I think that's a little bit more distracting.
I just don't mind it if it's a picture or if it's a quick video. It's when, like you said, people are watching the show through a screen because you're going to have the rest of your life to watch it through a screen.
That's true.
Well, that's it. I went to see the Rolling Stones. I took my youngest son to see the Rolling Stones last year, and it was, for me, it was just a quick little video, like 20 seconds of an intro of a song, and then it was like the phone was away, and I was watching Mick Jagger do his thing, and it was I didn't want to be there. It was a waste of time looking through the phone.
A little bit slower.
Yeah,
a little bit slower.
Man, he was fast.
He was quick.
Yeah, he was fast.
I saw Paul McCartney. I took a couple pictures of the show, just to say I was there, then watch the show. Even when I look back at the pictures, I'm like, I knew I was there.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, I was there. I understand why people want to do it, but as artists, and I'm sure, defending both sides, the Miranda Lambert side and the fan side, she wanted to be an artist, they wanted to be fans. There has to be a balance of enjoy the show, get your memories that you need to get, but also understand this is a show.
You
think about how many pictures that we have 20 years ago. We don't have any. Zero.
Thankfully.
Probably a good thing, actually.
Do you guys miss this in the show? Oh,
And how many times did you buy those cameras and then you forget that you had them? And then you can't find them anymore. Like, fuck, where is that camera? I want to get it developed. And then when you do get it, it's like,
you don't turn out.
Selfies like half a face.
One picture.
What was do you guys have any more moments from stage or a tour or something you've done that stands out where, you were talking about the mall.
If they don't,
where kids, TRL, going to get to do TRL. Nuno playing with you guys. Is there anything else?
I think a really big moment for us guys was when we did our own headlining tour of the House of Blues. We actually performed here back in 2000, wasn't it? Back in 2000.
We don't talk about times. Let's just go. It was a while ago.
That was a real pinnacle moment for us because we worked all year of 2000. Did 180 flights that year. Seen so much of the States and so many TVs and etc. And finishing off with our own headline tour. That was a really big moment for us because it was a sellout tour and it went down amazingly well. I thought, it was a good year for us guys.
How about the first time when you would do Back Here and get the crowd to sing it? Because I'll tell you, a couple nights ago they did the show and the crowd started singing and chanting BBMak before you encouraged them to do that. The moment where you guys made something that you brought to each other, hey, I've got this idea for something, and now thousands of people are singing that idea? What kind of feeling is that? That's why we do it.
Yeah, I remember.
amazing.
I remember when we were doing the state fairs and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that was where that kind of first happened when it caught fire on radio. And I remember, I was doing the shows and they were just singing so loud, and it's an amazing feeling to know that something that we wrote,
yeah.
It's a little song we wrote, in my bedroom. Went all the way from there.
First time walking the red carpet. You guys, you obviously remember the first time you ever walked the red carpet.
Yes.
You're walking the red carpet, you see so-and-so and so-and-so, and you're meeting people for the very first time. I remember the TRL photo shoot that we had in the class of 99, and Nsync and Britney and Christina Aguilera and the Goo Goo Dolls were there, and Lenny Kravitz. People were meeting each other for the very first time, Limp Bizkit. When you guys went to those shows, do you remember like walking up to like somebody that you idolized and was like, man, I cannot believe I'm here, pinch me?
I remember.
Imposter syndrome?
I remember we stood on the red carpet and Mariah Carey was on the red carpet.
Tell me about that.
It was just, I used to be a big fan of Mariah Carey, about Fantasy and all that in the day. And it was just a bit surreal for me. It's like, I've not seen her for years, and she was right next to me as if I'm part of the whole crowd of the red carpet. I didn't feel like I belonged there, really, amongst these big stars, but that was quite surreal.
Yeah,
Did you guys ever get big heads? Was there ever a moment where you walked in somewhere and you're like, it's us?
We stayed very grounded. The fact that we've, for years of trying having this dream and this vision, and to be in that position of working so hard to get to that point, we're just really grateful. Yeah, if anything.
I just remember the VMAs, and I was dating Nikki Hilton at the time.
Ding, ding.
And was that
Paris Hilton's sister?
That was Paris Hilton's sister. I know you remember. Because it was all of a sudden you just saw all these rock stars that are trying to come up, and all of a sudden this pretty boy, Christian Burns, is like walking over. I'm like, oh no, you guys will like him. They like him.
I'm sure we got in a cab. We hung out. Yeah, we hung out. I remember it.
I'm like, Chris he's gonna come over, and Nikki's like, who's that? He's cute. I'm like, you're with me. But I remember Paris was like, oh yeah, like, and then want to know where you went. What the hell happened to you? I've been waiting 20 years to ask you this question. What happened to you then? We're at the Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Where did I just vanish?
Yeah, you just vanished. We were waiting for you.
Where did you go, Christian?
Because you're supposed to come out with us.
I could have gone anywhere. Who knows?
Yeah, you could have had a good time that night.
Yeah. I must have. If I just vanished.
Yeah.
Are these regrets you still hold dear?
No regrets at all. No regrets at all. Any
Not
regrets,
one regret. Not one little letter.
Any regrets?
I have no regrets.
No.
Everything happens for a reason. They're all chapters in our book, and we've loved every one of them.
Did you ever have any battles over any girls, or was there any times where?
No, do you know what? I always had a girlfriend, so I was a good boy.
I was the only single one.
He was the only single one, yeah.
Were you guys dating your wives at the time, or no?
I was.
You were dating your wife?
No.
You've been with her that whole entire time?
My wife for 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
How is she doing? Like, how many kids do you have?
2 boys, yeah.
Steve has 2 boys. And how old are they?
16 and 12.
16, 12. Wow.
Yeah.
Are there any inklings of them starting a band?
Yeah, they both do music. They can both play guitar, play drums, yeah. And they sometimes I'll walk past their bedroom and I'll hear them like writing songs and stuff. So
we could have a BBMak.
Yeah, could
Maybe.
do. Yeah.
BBMak Junior.
Yeah.
Bring them out where you guys will be in walkers and they'll come out.
Yeah.
We obviously know Mark. He like lifts the weights, but you beat people's asses for a living.
Oh yeah.
No, wait, no, not. Oh yeah. So Chris and I were talking about. I was like, dude, did you see Mark? He's like super ripped, and he's like, oh yeah, but he's not the one to be afraid of. I go, what
Plus,
do you mean?
it's the quiet ones.
Yeah.
We know it's the quiet ones.
You know, it's always the
He's
quiet
like, Steve,
ones.
you gotta. He's like, he does MMA, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, really?
Yeah.
So when you're done with the tour, you're going.
I'm
going to go
back
fight someone.
Yeah, I'm fighting. I get back on the Monday and I fight on the Sunday.
The world's back.
It's a world title fight.
World title fight?
Yeah, he's
It's a
already
world
a European champ, so he's a British champion.
Are you a grappler or are you stand
No,
up?
it's just straight up kickboxing. Like,
Okay. Oh wow.
So it's But when I get home, I've been training on tour. So these guys, it was hard this morning. No, we went out last night with Trevor, had a few drinks in the bar, and dragging myself out of bed at like 6 a.m. to go to the gym and run and stretch and do some, some
Dedication.
training.
So by the time this airs, he could be a world champion.
That's right.
He will be a world champion.
You will be a world champion.
He's got
willing
it.
It's out there. It's out there in the universe.
got
I
it.
want to be.
Do you go out, when you go out to the bars? You want to fuck some people up, don't you?
No, man.
You don't want to.
No, when I'm out in the bars and I'm not drinking, I just want to go home. I was standing around with my Diet Coke looking at Trevor and these guys having a good time, and I'm like,
There's only two reasons to go out: to drink and to fight.
yeah.
And if you're not doing either one of those, go home.
Go home.
Is there
yeah.
anyone we could probably name like a dozen? Anybody that you'd want to beat up that you've met along the way that
That is not in this room.
that are super
Not in this
no one
room.
in this room. That
No
you're
one in
like,
this room, though.
I wish I could
He's
just.
he's not a fighter. He's a
No.
lover, not a fighter.
I get on with everyone.
He does.
I'm
He
easy
does.
going.
You guys all get along with everyone. You're all real easygoing. So I can understand why there's never been a fight between you three. Plus, that's one of the main reasons there wouldn't be a fight between you three. But being so easygoing, has that helped or hurt you guys? Like, because I'm sure there's times where you're too nice, or you could be a little meaner and go, we could go for this or we could get this. Has that ever really affected you guys?
I think the opposite. I think it's helped us.
Yeah.
We've always got on with been very professional about
Very
the
humble.
work side.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We're very grateful for what
very
we've got,
grateful, and we've always been nice to everyone we've ever met along the way, and we've seen a lot of the people, that were little, just runners or whatever in the day who now own the company or the record company or whatever, and we see them years later and they're like, oh, great to have you back. Oh, by the way, I'm the boss now, and thanks.
it's cool.
So if anything, it's helped us, over the years.
You never know who you're going to run into
exactly.
at what
That's it.
stage in their
Exactly.
life.
It costs nothing to be nice.
Were you ever introduced to celebrity as kids? I mean, your dad was in a big pop band or a rock band, right?
Yeah, my dad was in a band in
60s.
Liverpool in the 60s. Yeah, the Signs.
Yeah.
They opened up for the Beatles actually in the Cavern. So
your dad
back in '66.
Getting back to that question, your dad knows the Beatles. Like he met them all.
yeah.
Who's in the Beatles again?
Yeah, can you just? I don't remember. Can you tell me who were in the Beatles again?
John.
Tony Burns,
Nick.
Paul,
Nicholas
AJ,
Shea,
George Harrison.
Jeff Timmons.
Jeff Timmons. So, were you around that?
Well, I was
Obviously,
I
you were
wasn't
born later. You were born in the 70s.
Yeah,
but
I was born in the 70s. But yeah, when I was little, my mum and dad were always singing in the house. My dad was always playing the guitar in the house, always rehearsing and whatnot. So I was just around it from a very early age. Yeah.
Did you guys all grow up around it? Was it the music a part of your lives
Very
as
much
well?
so. I mean, I was listening to a lot of like Luther Vandross and Stevie Wonder,
soul.
George.
Was your family
Benson,
involved,
Oh,
though?
massively, massively. Yeah, a lot of soul, Motown stuff.
Yeah, I've got 2 older brothers, so there was always music being played. My dad loved the Drifters and all the Motown stuff. So, but my dad wanted one of his kids to play a musical instrument, and my 2 older brothers weren't really bothered. So I had like a violin, a keyboard, a drum kit, a guitar, and my dad just said, choose one instrument and learn to play it. So I chose guitar.
Is it hard to be your parents' favorite child for all you guys?
I think we're all
I'll have to
equal.
find out.
We're all equal. We're all equal.
I gotta say, it's been a pleasure having you guys on. I mean, especially
Oh,
being our first
massively.
time and haven't seen you guys in like 20 plus years.
You've not changed one bit,
You haven't,
Brian.
though.
You've
You
not.
look the same.
See,
not. Hi, Chris.
You've changed a lot.
Hi, Chris.
It's the hair, right?
It's just the hair. It's just the hair.
Your new single dropped like a week ago, like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Painted
Yes.
Lights,
Yeah.
yeah.
New
Painting
track out
Lights.
called Painting Lights.
I gotta tell you, it's unbelievable. It's completely different than. I mean, obviously the pop music.
It's
was so
still
different at that time,
BBMak
but
though. That's
Yeah,
what
the
I love
harmonies
about
and
it.
stuff.
I
Yeah.
love
The
that sound.
harmonies, though, the
Thank you.
harmonies are there, and that's something that will never change.
People need that. Like, I heard the song, and I hear you guys playing out there, and it's so great to hear your sound now.
Yeah.
Because back here we've heard 5 billion times,
This
right?
is a great song, though.
But of course it's a great song.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why
a
we
great
heard it
song.
5 billion times.
Yes, my girlfriend. She's.
But
likes that song.
I've asked your girlfriend. She's told me. She actually makes plays me. She makes me play it for her.
Hang on a second, guys. What do you need to-
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. But to hear you guys with the new song and to hear that sound again is awesome. I mean, I sneak out for your sound checks all the time just to hear you guys because you have that blend. You were a band. You guys figured yourselves out quickly, and you figured, oh, I'm in this band, I'm in this band, I'm in this.
Yeah.
But us three are something special.
Yeah.
And it's been a pleasure to have you guys on tour, and that's the only nice thing I'll say about you guys.
No, I'm sure it won't be.
We talk so much shit about you guys.
Normally.
But I'm only saying it because I like you. Both, the three of you. The three.
There's only two I like.
Yeah.
I know we already talked. No, you're attracted to.
No, I'm attracted to all three.
Okay, so on a scale from 1 to 5, on a scale from 1 to Kesha, where would you rank BBMak? Kesha being the hottest.
I'd probably put like right about a Shakira.
Shakira? That's like a 6.
That's good.
We'll
take it.
We'll
That's
take
like right
that,
up
boys.
there.
We'll take that to the
Can
team.
you guys play a little for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Of course.
What are we going to do here? Something simple so we don't
You
blow
know
your
what
vocals out?
We'll do
So we're backstage.
a little number called Power Station, which
Okay.
is the title track from our album, which we released last year. Year before?
2019?
I know.
You know what year it is? What, 20?
It was 4 years ago. And
Hey, when you get
time's
our
flown.
age, time just seems
It
to
does
change.
go quicker.
This was the first song we wrote when we got back together.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
Yeah.
And this is Power Station.
Yeah.
It is.
BBMak.
Think of all the faces, remembering the places when we were the only ones. Dreams that can be broken doesn't stop you hoping better days are yet to come. We can have just what we want if we open up our eyes to see the sun. We can have just what we want, just what we want. Our imaginations like a power station, fueling all our hopes and fears. Breaking up the pieces, ironing out the creases, remembering the wonder years. We can have just what we want if we open up our eyes to see the sun. We can have just what we want, just what we want.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
But we didn't get it. We didn't record it, so if we could just do that one more time. But this time, if you can smile while singing,
Just break the.
just don't hold back.
How hard is that to sing? We're like, here's some mics, guys. We're in this small room, and you have to back off a
It's
bit.
great. I mean, it depends on the time and stuff. I mean, we've been singing. We've done about 11 shows now, and pretty much back to back. And you know, in the morning we all sound really deep, and it takes a while.
We used to do a lot of breakfast shows, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a difficult bit, wasn't
They
it?
were
Singing in the
difficult,
morning.
What do you guys do to keep your voices always
Throat
going?
coat is the remedy for us guys. We have about
coat
3
tea.
or 4 throat coats a day.
Whiskey.
You know, usual warm-ups. You know, I think
Yeah.
just get
Whiskey?
singing.
You guys drink whiskey?
Whiskey's good.
yeah.
Absolutely. You gave us some whiskey.
Not true.
Your wife Carly was telling me about. She's like, you can hang with the boys from BBMak. They've got great whiskey. What are you guys doing tonight?
We stole it from
stole it from
his
Chris.
dressing room. So
That was your shit?
That
It
was
was
your
his.
great whiskey,
Yeah, that
Chris.
was your great whiskey.
Tennessee
Yeah.
whiskey, baby.
Yeah.
Tennessee whiskey.
Nice.
All right. So most importantly, where do fans find you guys now?
You can find us all over the place. Instagram is BBMak Official.
And your OnlyFans is what?
OnlyFans is just
Farmers only.
Christian only. What's your OnlyFans, Mark?
Nipples galore.
That's all it is.
You could quit the band right now and just take your shirt off.
I
and
have
an
quit the
OnlyFans.
band. They don't know yet. I'm going to tell it after the show.
You have an OnlyFans.
No, I've not. I
He has
haven't.
an
I
OnlyFans.
haven't got an OnlyFans.
You have got
He has
an
an
OnlyFans, Mark.
He's got an OnlyFans of him
can't.
just in
It's-
jeans
it's-
and the shaker.
Yeah.
He goes by,
That's a good idea.
he goes by Steve Burns.
Great idea. No, I've not got an OnlyFans.
But yeah, Instagram and TikTok,
Yeah, it's
BBMak _official. That's it.
You had to put the underscore in because somebody already had BB
Somebody already
Mac.
took it.
Yeah.
Apparently there's another
Beat us
BB
to
Mac
it.
official, which isn't official, so it's all confusing.
So now we know.
But you can go to bbmak.com as well.
Yeah.
So everything's on there.
Thank you guys so much for being on.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having
Yeah.
us. It's great to
Seriously.
see you again.
Very, very nice to see you fellas, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Oh, wait, I'm going to be with you guys tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Cool.
So we'll say
And Christian's coming
now.
to Nashville.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to
At
Nashville.
least for a visit.
Oh, right on.
Coming
We're
to
going to try to
Nashville.
get him to move, but at least
Yeah.
for a
You
visit.
have
So
to.
that means these guys will slowly have to
Integrate
migrate
you.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring the kids.
You got your y'alls right.
Y'all. There you go.
Just say, y'all come back now here.
Y'all come back now.
Here you go.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You guys are the best. Thank you guys.
Name drop.